guys. Thank you. My name is Atharva, and I've been living in London since a year and a half now. And when I first moved here, people told me that London is such a melting pot of cultures, you know. And I agree, because I myself lived with a very diverse set of flatmates here. I had 4 flatmates, 3 of them were Indians, and the other one was from the south of India. And after living with these guys for a year, I realized that there are 2 kinds of people in this world. The first kind are people who are amazing chefs. And the second kind are people who do dishes all their lives. And all 4 of them were in the first category, and I was in the second one. So I identify as a dishwasher now. My pronouns are do, them. Yeah, I don't even have a consciousness left anymore. I think it got rinsed away. Yeah, let that sink in. Smart audience today. Some pretentious people are like, oh my God, doing the dishes is such a therapeutic process. And I agree, because exactly like therapy, doing the dishes is a lifelong work in progress. Because just when you think that you've cleansed it all, your flatmate dumps 3 pans and 2 pots in the sink. Fucker was boiling an egg. Sorry for losing my cool there. That was supposed to be a deadpan joke. This is a full-time job, man. I don't have a social life left anymore. I don't even have a love life left. In fact, the sink is the only thing that I've been choking. You laugh too much on that. But I like living in London. I know people shit about the crime rate, the muggings. But to be fair, the muggings here happen on e-bikes, which is at least sustainable. It's less mugging, more thrifting at this point. But my favorite thing about this country is the NHS. I really respect the NHS, man. I think the NHS works on the simple philosophy of time heals all wounds. Because you go to the NHS as a patient, then they make you wait for 10 hours, and then you actually come out even more patient. My friend Saloni broke her foot recently, and she was in devastating pain. So we rushed her to the NHS, and her pain was constantly increasing, but they still made her wait for 6 hours. And something magical happened in the end, you know, her pain just disappeared. Because as the old saying goes, what's better than cure? Anyone? Yes, amputation. Shout out to Saloni, she's back there on her wheelchair today. No, I'm just kidding. She's back to India getting treated by a real doctor. A wise old man once said that if you're good at something, never do it for free. Now I know why the NHS is free. Any French people in the room today? No? Thank God. I used to live in Paris for a few months before London. And when I first moved there, people told me that the French can be a bit rude, sometimes even a bit racist. But honestly, I never felt that way, because not once did they ever talk to me. I had a wild time. In Paris, dude. I was there for 5 months, and I was involved in 3 mugging attempts. Well, 2 actually. I don't count the ones that I did. But after these 2 mugging attempts, I realized that the French way of mugging is romantic. Because they actually come and get to know you first. So they're nice to you for about 5 minutes. That's the only time they attempt to talk in English, and then they steal. Which is way worse than the muggings in London, because in Paris, you not only lose your phone, but you lose a friend. I've been acting recently. I've been trying my hand at it. I've been giving auditions. But one thing I really hate about it is how people typecast you as a certain kind of a role because of the way you look. Like recently I went to audition for this play and the casting director looked at me and he was like, hey man, we're no longer auditioning for Paddington Bear. Which was very rude because I was actually there to audition for Winnie the Pooh. I mean, how can you not notice someone wearing a crop top and no pants? Did you guys see the new Paddington Bear play in London? Yeah? He's so small and cute, right? But his acting, very average. I think the play should be called The Bare Minimum. That's my favorite joke. Last year, I went for my first ever solo trip to Japan. Yeah, that's where the Indians go to find themselves. Any Japanese people in the crowd? No, I guess they're still at work. So I went from India, so I checked the time difference between India and Japan and it was 4 hours. But when I reached there, I realized that it's actually 40 years because they're way ahead in everything. How privileged as a country do you have to be to have technology in your toilets? The Japanese have mastered the art of shitting, guys, they really have. It's a 7-course experience. You walk in there, besides the toilet, there's a panel of 12 buttons. You can adjust the speed, angle, temperature, time, pressure, velocity, air force. It's the closest I've ever felt to being Top Gun Maverick in my life. So I just pressed this random red colored button and this hot piercing stream of water hit me from behind. And that's how I discovered my G-spot. I discovered myself in Japan story now. Then I pressed this other random button and the toilet seat got connected to my phone via AirDrop and music started playing. Now I don't know if you guys have ever taken a dump while Drop It Like It's Hot is playing in the background. But it is an experience, I'll tell you that. I was doing this joke in Japan actually and they didn't really like it when I mentioned the word airdrop in Japan. Yeah, the joke bombed. Moving on, let's do some current affairs. Now, do you guys know Sunita Williams by any chance?
No.
Yeah?
She went space, right?
Exactly. So she is an American astronaut who went to space last year for an 8-day mission. But because of some technical failure, her mission got extended by 9 months. So she was stranded in space by 9 months. And you know how much she got paid for that? She only got paid for the first 8 days. And for 9 months, she got paid $4 a day. Now, I know there's a cost of living crisis going on. But this lady got underpaid in space. Do you understand the gravity of the situation? They say sky is the limit. She cleared it. The glass ceiling, she broke the stratosphere. Matthew McConaughey got paid 14 million pounds for Interstellar to pretend to be in the space. Now you'll say, come on, he's an actor. Neil Armstrong got paid millions to pretend to be on the moon. Allegedly. My astrologer neighbor earns 30 pounds per hour to tell sad people that their Mercury is in retrograde. Meanwhile, Sunita was actually retrograding the Mercury. Imagine how much she would have gotten paid if she posted one TikTok get ready with me video from space. Like, hey guys, this new moisturizer that I've been using is out of this world. Yeah, it's not rocket science. Anyone in therapy here? Give me a chair. Oh, a few broken voices. My ex was a therapist, and in the beginning of a relationship, I was very happy until she started psychoanalyzing every joke that I made. We had these really cute nicknames for each other. I used to call her baby, and she called me her subject. she was very proud about her job, you know. Once she was like, Atharva, being a therapist is not an easy job. Like, there's no slacking in this job, because what if you have one lazy day as a therapist and this depressed guy goes home and kills himself? I'm like, yeah, that kind of makes sense, but isn't that true for most jobs out there? Because what if you're a lazy architect and you skip working on the building's tensile strength or something, the building collapses and 100 people die? I think the only job where you can afford to be lazy and people don't actually die is being a terrorist. And she wrote that joke down in a diary. Leave you guys with this. Her career used to really come between our personal life, because even while we were in the act, she used to moan like, uh-huh. Uh-huh. Go on. And how does that make you feel? I see where you're coming from. Thank you, guys. My name is Atharva. That's been my time. Please give it up to your host.